here we go.
Here we go.
That sign, hey everyone, the Oxford Sports Pub and Secret Society. The sign on the side of the building is finally up. It has been for about a week now. It is really beautiful. Now you can find it as you drive through Altamont Springs.
Jimmy can't find the building.
You can't say that anymore. It's on Google now.
Yes.
Earlier I was Googling the Oxford, excuse me, and
Hey.
it popped up.
David, you can't make this shit up. I mean, it takes getting a sign up before Google recognizes.
Yeah, you gotta make it all official.
It doesn't matter that you have a business license with the.
That's Joel. You cannot make this shit up.
Yeah, you can't.
And we are broadcasting at the Oxford, and it is beautiful. It is nice. The food is good. They got the Masters going on in the background. Last week it was Major League Baseball. It was
the
opening
March
week.
March Madness. End of March Madness. Yeah.
So this
funny.
Is
It's funny that we did. It's funny we had 50% chance. 50% chance of 50% chance of getting somebody into the playoffs
from Florida,
and we didn't get it. Either one.
UConn got in there. Where did they come from?
Listen, UConn is one of these. Like you just never know. Echo.
Yeah, we got echoes going. Now that's better.
Gotcha. No, if it weren't for John, we would be lost in space sometimes. So thank you, John, for bringing us back.
Thank you for producing everything. Thank you for getting us back on track here.
But yeah, it's a great place. We had today. We splurged in. I was so hungry this morning.
Yeah.
And I all those people celebrating Ramadan. I'm sorry, I had to eat. This place was, oh God, it was good.
Yeah.
So, I don't think they're open early enough to.
They got good food here. Delicious food, and it's a great setting. Lots of comfortable seating and tables, and we're very appreciative that the Oxford is our, I guess, our sponsor for our podcast location of sorts.
Yeah, for right now, until somebody comes along and sneaks us away.
Yeah.
But this is a great location. The problem is that the problems that you hear, like with volume and stuff like that, don't worry about it. Come down here to Oxford.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, be here in the room. Maybe you have a story that you want to tell. We almost had two gentlemen that were standing over here looking. I was almost ready to put them on the air. It's like,
you really?
I would have put them on the air. You didn't even know if it was a guy or a girl, so
because I had my back to them.
I know. Listen,
the voice was soft.
It was just see Joel.
Now,
you
gotta
say
Joel.
Joel.
They have to offer some value. I'm just putting that out there for everybody.
Oh yeah, well they look like they could. They look like they could get, some value in the wardrobe. You gotta love them. No, but you come down here to Oxford. You talk to us in between sets. We know that you have value. Then most likely we're going to want to record something with you. And David, I got an email to send you from. So I called. So we're both on Owl, and I needed to make my 3 calls because I'm a brand ambassador. So I have to make 3 calls, and I have no problem with that. I try to find the ones that are $1. So I found it. I found a brand new CEO who just got on. Okay. Second time I've been the first person to call the CEO.
Okay, all right.
He runs a thing down in Pembroke Pines. It is a online luxury car business.
Really?
So it's like Tesla, but you actually build your car. So if you want a high-end Honda, you can get them to basically put it together on their site and they get it to you.
Wow.
He said that, we had this conversation where he says, well, everybody thought it was crazy, but it was worth an investment and now it's doing very well. So I'm like, yeah, I'd love to talk to any brand new CEO because I love this stuff. But then I saw Ghostwriter, and my heartburn with my book and how that came about.
Sure.
So I reached out to her and we're having a great conversation. And she says, I love the name of your podcast. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's literally that.
Right. That's
so
true.
she sends me an email. And the very first thing is the thing she would want to talk about is she wrote a travel book. Now she wrote the travel book, and guess what happened?
What happened?
She was trying to publish it, but we had COVID-19.
Oh, oh,
You're telling me this. So she postpones the actual coming out of the book. Then
And
so
that
she
would be, I mean, right after the pandemic would have been great.
so yeah, it came out right after the pandemic, but she out to some PR people, and I'm
Yes.
like, well, we're the guys that outreach to you and we try to get you on board. But when you reach out to us, it seems like we just don't carry the water. So they didn't get back with her. I'm like, well, you won't get that with Jay in Washington. We'll definitely get back with you. I might not be able to help you, but
We'll put her on
we'll
the,
find
on the
find.
path to getting what she wants.
So I said I'd love to have her on the show after hearing that one, right?
Right.
But then she sends me a list, and the list has her very first thing. She's at a national park, and she drops her keys into the nasty pit. It's like you can't make this shit up, and that's literal shit she's talking about. So I reach out to her and I said,
"Oh man,
are you sure you want to be able to talk about these things with that?" She's like, "Yeah, I can talk about them." I was like, "Oh, we got to have her on the show because she just got to have her as a guest." She lives in Oregon, and I'm like, the things that the things she has on the list. When you see them, you'll be like, Joel, you should have remembered all of these because they're all good ones.
When we get our interns on board, we need someone that can, go into like OWL and some other applications or our contact list and specifically have a conversation about those individuals coming on board and being on the show. I know, there's some folks, oh my goodness, we've already got some people in mind. Commissioner Mike Scott is one of them.
But you remember Monday,
Vice Mayor.
I told you that Monday I was invited to go on a podcast because I was talking to somebody on OWL,
right?
And I gave him a little bit of information about my parents and my grandparents, and he like within moments was telling me stuff I had already known, like
the
guy,
genealogy.
so guy. Guy got married to this person, but this is a divorced woman, so it gives you these tips. And I was like floored. So he says, I wanted to reach out to you because I want to have you on my show because I found out some more stuff.
Wow.
So I'm like a little bit nervous, but a little bit excited. So
have him on board.
But that's the thing. We need to cross-pollinate these podcasts because what he did was phenomenal. It's a lot of it I already knew, but he just cemented it. It was somebody not in the family telling me things that had happened.
Right.
And now I know why my grandmother was scared. No, that was a joke, guys. My grandmother was never scared of our history, just Maine.
I know there's more and more people joining that platform. Have you noticed any like political types joining?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
No, that is I got called. I got my 10 calls. So I got called from this young lady that wanted to talk politics, and I'm a Republican, and I'm trying to be as supportive of what she's saying, and at the same time she's basically, I'm not going to put it in the wrong term, but she's basically calling me a racist and all this other stuff. And like she's kind of like going down that road, and I'm kind of going, I'm a traditional Republican, and I kind of believe in the history of the party. And she's like, well, the party switched, and when somebody tells me the party switched, it drives me crazy. So I'm sitting there.
The party evolved.
All I know is I tell her, I said, it's like an allergy. Every 7 years, you may not have that same allergy.
Yeah, it's true. Speaking of the party evolving, our friend Ron DeSantis, there was a survey, a poll that came out that DeSantis is not doing too well with independents, and he may do well with the base in the primary if he decides to run for president. However, you are looking at a broader, electorate in general election, and a lot of them are moderates, independents, and how will he pivot if he does decide to run
See, here's
based on his
no.
his record?
I understand why he's being dogged by independents. I mean, I think I go on this First Amendment thing, and
Right.
the news media really kind of puts it into a perspective. There's a guy who wrote a book, and he's talking about how Florida, the Florida way should be the American way. Now, I'm like this close to buying the book just to find out what it does say. I mean, I do know he compliments Trump in it and some other things like that. But this First Amendment gave him the right to write the book.
Correct.
So must not have talked about any of his relationship making any of his children because it would be banned.
I think I put in the request at my local
To ban the
elementary
book?
school to ban the book.
Yeah, I don't want any.
Just for the hell of
I
it.
don't want any young kids to read the book. I knew you'd say that.
I'm sorry.
No. I mean, I would defend. I defend the governor. Listen,
I'm not into banning books at
no,
all.
but it's not book banning. It's just protecting our children.
Parental choice.
Yeah, protecting our children.
Doing the job of parents.
Yeah, okay.
That's a job they should be doing.
And then then I want to reach out to him and say, hey, can you reach out and tell them that any team in Florida should not be able to have larger bases and should not be able to, because you're going after business
The
too.
pitch clock.
So you can't have a pitch clock and you can't have anything else, right?
Right.
I mean, come on. The state of Florida should have different rules. I mean, the Major League Baseball should have to obey our rules when they come into town, right?
Yeah, well, the Major League Baseball, I believe, is lobbying the Florida government to limit the effects of raising minimum wage. This would affect their minor league operations, what they pay the players. And so,
No,
yeah.
it would never bother them. I mean, just because they put them on a bus that breaks down and they don't pay them any money. Yeah. I mean, you want to go into the Major League Baseball thing. The minimum wage for a Major League Baseball player is like just less than $200,000.
Sign me up.
And it's like the minimum that you can pay someone. So that guy that you pulled out of the minor leagues, if you give him a contract, even if it's for like 6 months, that's a big change.
Yes.
Because they're literally going from I was barely able to pay my rent to I now have a full contract. Maybe they just bring them up to send them back down, but
sure.
you still got the
for a
contract.
day, yes. At least for a day.
But yeah, this is what is bothering. This is what bothering independents. Independents are starting to see these stories and the way they're being pitched. Well, if DeSantis is a book burner, right? That's
Right.
the message that's being sent. Or, they don't live here in Florida. They don't actually know our governor. But I think once you get to know our governor, I think he can sway those independents because look what he did to keep the Democrats to stay home. He did a good enough job to convince people. He won by 19 points in the state of Florida.
Spent a lot of money doing it. $250 million.
But he raised that money too.
Sure.
So I mean, look, we just had that discussion on a couple episodes ago. I mean, the difference between the way Republicans try to raise money in bad circumstances and the way Democrats do it in bad circumstances are two different things.
That's true. That's very true.
Let's see. I'm going to get arrested and raise no money, and I'm going to get arrested and raise $4 million. So, but yeah, DeSantis has a problem with independence because, but I bet you if you wrote this article about anybody, not Biden as much because Biden's like in the 34s as approval rating anyway. So, but it's a partisan way of getting elected. So independents aren't even paying attention. As far as I'm concerned, this is not a poll that really says anything.
I have to disagree because you had record turnout in 2020 and in 2016. People are coming out in the general election. They are coming out.
Okay.
They did extremely well.
So-
Democrats did extremely well nationwide, except for Florida
And I get it.
in 2022.
But I'm also saying that they're not paying attention because you and I both know If you do a poll today, and it's not, the bachelor or bachelorette, they probably don't know what you're talking about.
I think, I mean, as popular as DeSantis has made himself and his cultural wars with teachers, Disney, blah 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 blah, I think people can tell you. I would hope they can tell you who the
Republicans
governor is. Republicans can.
Republicans
Yeah.
nationwide
Yeah.
could tell you who DeSantis is.
Yeah.
Now, is DeSantis beating Trump in a poll? No.
No.
But
He needs to get arrested for that.
that's right. And he's not going to do that. His wife won't allow him to be away from the house that long. Hey, wait a minute. He was signing books when Donald Trump was getting arrested in the same state.
Well, hopefully DeSantis will be a character witness
Well,
for Trump.
He
during his
does.
trial.
But see, he has already basically, getting sued by Donald Trump for running a campaign
Right.
that's not being run.
Man,
So you can't make this shit up. So
Donald and
maybe
his
he'll go to
lawyers.
jail for it.
Man, he knows how to use those lawyers.
Listen, I don't know how you. Where does he get the? I mean, I know he has the resources, but at some point, you have to be a lawyer that goes, really? Donald Trump wants to hire me?
Yes, for the money.
Do I
up
really
front.
do I really want it? I would always ask for the money
Get
up
your
front.
money up front.
Listen, those carpenters that ended up, well, it didn't meet the contract because it was scratched, and the scratch probably came from Donald Trump's kids. I'm just being bad, but no, it's he's a stickler for money. I mean,
Yes, he is.
again, he knows how to make money, and he knows how to keep himself in the media, even when they want to stop talking about him, they
Right.
can't stop talking about him.
Right.
But DeSantis has a problem. DeSantis
he
has a
does.
problem with independence.
Yeah.
He has this problem with independence because he is getting tagged with everything the legislature is doing. It's an attention on Florida because Florida did so well with Republicans, whereas the rest of the nation struggled.
He's going against the grind here as far as nationwide.
So I was just having my conversation, and when you're doing your show,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully it didn't interrupt it.
No.
But here at the Oxford, a lot of us Republicans, we love to come to familiar places, and this is a really great place to hang out. If you look at the furniture, you could have
It's very
Democrats.
comfortable.
You could have Democrats sitting over here in this little living room style, and Republicans in the other, and you won't really mix conversations. But we were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
have we even thought about? We already have two that we're thinking about running out of Florida. But did anybody forget that Scott, the entire time he's been in politics,
Rick Scott.
has not ever worried about how much money he has to spend out of his own pocket?
Oh, exactly.
He's never had to worry about. I mean, if he's jumping in, we have the three Floridians again.
Rick Scott running for president.
It's a possibility. It's been when they weren't putting Donald Trump in the thing, they were already saying that they thought that DeSantis and
Mr. Rick Scott, who said he wants even people who are terribly poor,
indigent
paying
people
income-
paying
income taxes.
Yeah, I told. But see, in 8
You
years,
can't make this
listen,
shit
in
up.
8 years, people forget that stuff.
No, they won't.
No, that they will.
If they hire us,
They'll
they
forget
won't
about.
forget.
Listen,
If we were working for the opposition, the stuff that we know, the stuff we can talk about in an hour.
listen.
Oh my God.
I was just telling a friend that I don't know how her campaign is being put together. I don't know who's running her campaign, but Nikki Haley hasn't even reached out in Florida. She must know that she's going to lose it or something. But she has somebody like me who's an admirer of hers.
Right.
Why
right.
hasn't she reached out to me? Because it's like I could be your champion down
Right.
here in Florida.
So we talk about this, how, Democrats, Republicans use the same fucking playbook
All the time.
and get the same results. And I'm like,
So Nikki has jumped in the race, right?
fucking
You have to
idiots.
wonder, like, they've already written her off. Like, the media's already written her
Yes.
off. They keep saying Donald Trump's got this thing in the bag. The only person they ever put is a guy who's not even in the race.
Right.
DeSantis. No, how about Nikki? She's in the race. She worked for Donald Trump.
Yes, she did.
She left the administration on a good note. How on earth do you get out of that without being fired or having some mud against the former administration? So for her to be able to get in and get out is alone
Sure.
something we should be paying attention to.
But
And
there-
now he's been indicted. I
and,
mean,
and his numbers go up, and DeSantis numbers go down.
But-
It's amazing. It's amazing.
so who in Iowa and who in New Hampshire are locking it up? Is that the only place she's paying attention to? Because nationwide, there are people that like Nikki Haley. I mean, I'm a fan.
Sure, sure.
I thought
but,
what she did in
But
South
the-
Carolina, things that nobody could have done.
right, but that's South Carolina. I mean, it's a small
Wait a minute,
electoral
wait.
state.
You say it's
No, it's-
South Carolina, like it didn't take Biden getting an endorsement from South Carolina to technically tinkle his way up to the top place. I mean, everybody started falling out because he got a major black endorsement, and they knew that he was not very good with
It
his
wasn't
mouth.
South Carolina. It was Clybourne's
Yeah,
endorsement.
but it was South Carolina that gave him the jump.
Sure. Okay, I can see that. Yes.
But you're right.
However, Nikki Haley, the former governor of South Carolina, versus DeSantis of Florida versus Hutchinson of Arkansas. You know, you got some. Wait a second. Did I just say Arkansas?
Yeah, you did. That's okay.
Erase
It's been a
that.
long week.
Erase that. Erase that.
It's been a long week.
Erase that. You're right. You're right. Asa, really?
Run
for president?
Listen,
Arkansas
everybody
is a stalwart of
everybody-
the American economy and education.
listen.
system.
Everybody runs. Everybody's gonna run. You know,
Oh, man.
Donald Trump is the front runner, as they say. But why? I don't know. We should be hearing from these people. I mean, you want something done right, you reach the people that can get it done.
I still think that Trump will be your Republican nominee. He'll lose in the general election. If I was DeSantis, you know, I wouldn't put my family, my body through the whole primary system.
Well,
That's too much. And also, I mean, I just look at the party leadership in the individual state Republican parties, and many of them are Trump loyalists, and you have to get past that
so
to
Yes.
win that
I'll agree-
nomination.
I'll
It's
agree
winner
with that.
takes all.
I'll agree with that.
So if I was DeSantis,
I would
I'll
say,
be
look, I've told
working
you,
my butt to sell my book, and after my last term
I've-
as governor, just
I've said it
go
over and over.
away.
I've said it over and over again. Why would you want to waste your money and resources in a race that is basically already decided by the media and by the elites that have taken over? I mean,
Ego.
These parties. Okay,
They're all sociopaths.
so you're in a party that wants to endorse Donald Trump. There's nothing good that can come out of it, because if you don't win, Donald Trump is now mad at you because you don't have the cojones or the gusto to get everybody on board.
Mhm.
So then you're a failure. So that didn't do anything. If you win, then the governor goes, okay, I'm going to shut you off from, all this access that you would have typically had, because you've broken it. You've gone out and endorsed, which is a rule. You put a rule forward that you should never do, because you give up money, give up resources. And there's a lot of these party loyalists that are in those positions right now.
It's going to be tough for the Republicans.
So we were having a great conversation,
Good.
because we
Very
talk
good.
about these things, but I
It's-
never
it's
thought about Rick Scott until somebody said, what if he does?
I look at the end game: a Trump, a DeSantis, a Rick Scott, a Hutchinson, a Nikki Haley on the ballot against a Democrat, and looking at all the baggage that they bring from one extreme to another. I just can't
I
see.
don't-
I just can't see moderate Democrats turning to Ron DeSantis and say, "Yeah, he's going to get my vote." He can't pivot that shit from where he's at now.
But he's
I
not
mean,
even
he can't
again.
pivot that shit.
Again, he's not running, is he? So I mean, this is just a poll with somebody who's not on the ballot. Listen.
Okay, he's not officially running.
Correct.
Maybe what's today, the 7th?
Yeah.
So maybe in 5 days he'll make that announcement.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
And
maybe he won't make the announcement at all. So
right, but okay, let's take the Saint out of the mix here.
Oh, don't you do that Donald Trump thing?
And
DeSantis.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry, I meant to say meatball.
Oh, there you go. You do know that they've recreated. You said it. So now they've recreated the DNA of the woolly mammoth. And what they came out with was a meatball. I can't believe you said that because that is what my granddaughter wanted me to know this morning when I woke up. So you just said meatball, and all I can think of is you can't make this shit up because it's like the woolly man. The guy looks all pressed because he made a meatball from the DNA. Okay, you can't make it shit. But
I mean, okay, a Trump. I mean. Again, I mean, I can't see a moderate Democrat looking at Trump like, yeah, I want him to be president. Or
wait.
Scott. Oh, I want him to be president.
David,
hypothetical.
David, you don't know. You don't
nominees.
know. You have, out of all people,
yes, sir.
You have totally neglected the one person that can win all of it.
Jesus is running.
Kanye.
I mean, I will vote for Kanye.
Listen, Kanye's in it. I don't know what his new name is, but he's running. He's running, and he's gonna run a hard campaign.
If he makes it out of the primary,
dragging it.
I am voting for Kanye.
He's dragging a racist with him and everything. I mean, come on, you can't. Look,
is it Nick Fuentes or?
Yeah, I'm just like, why not? You're gonna bring. Hey, I'm Kanye. I'm running for president. I'm gonna go visit the former president, and I'm gonna bring the racism. So Kanye, you were talking about these prominent names and you didn't even bring him up.
Oh Lord, thank you, Joel. I almost forgot. This is you can't.
This is the United States. You can't make this shit up, guys. You can't make it up at all.
My God. Not a fucking day goes by it seems that we say this. If it wasn't so funny, it'd be so sad.
But see, that's why you allow me to be on the show just because every once in a while I remember something out of the blue that you can go, damn, I forgot that. Only dummy that he's paying attention is Joel.
Hey, trust us, we know what the fuck we're doing. We know what we're doing. We talk about this, we eat, live, shit this stuff, and we are good at what we do. I challenge anyone in Central Florida to challenge us. I really do. We will go toe to toe with you.
I will take you to the task. I will take you all the way to the end. And if I know I'm going to lose, I'm still going to come close enough to make you shit your pants.
Damn right.
So this is Ron DeSantis needs to start meeting some independents. He needs to come to us. He needs to start getting in there and start saying, I need somebody new down in Central Florida.
And Trump did come visit us last summer on another issue, his people.
Yep. So listen, you can't make this shit up. If you want really to go down this road, we've got it. We can do it. And we got so much on our plate right now. We would welcome it.
Mm-hmm.
We got plenty of interns that you can educate, you can mold. You can't do anything else with them because there's a lot of rules because they're trying to graduate school. So you got to make sure they're writing stuff and you got to make sure that they're doing stuff. And it's a lot of work, but it's so much fun when you see these people graduate.
Yep.
You keep talent. We need to keep this talent here. So you need to hire Jay in Washington, a local company that's going to help you broaden your entire campaign because we are in the depths.
We're in the community. We're engaged in the community.
No, I'm not engaged right now, but
we're part of neither of us. But
look,
we
you
are
have
involved.
Orange. Look, I know Orange County, but I live in Seminole, and you share Orange County with me. I share Seminole with you.
Mm-hmm.
We know what's going on. SemDems, we know what's going on without even having to be embedded with them, because we we look at the trends, we look at what's going on. So we have this show because we want to let you know that we're paying attention
Mhm.
and that we do see hypocrisy and we do see things that are absolutely entertaining and things that are jeopardizing your campaign
Right.
because, hey, I'm sorry, Ron DeSantis. I think you're a great governor. I think you did a great job, 19 points, but I think you could do better because you have to get independence. And what they're thinking is that you don't support the Constitution. That's the message you're getting. And until they can clarify that, which we could do,
Mhm.
you're going to have that problem with independence. So if you're thinking about having a good meal, if you're thinking about, having a great conversation, you know where we're at every Thursday. We're right here at the Oxford. We're right here at the Oxford Sports Pub and Secret Society because you can't make this shit up.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you, everyone. Like, share, hit the notification button.